Brothers and sisters, comrades, friends, wassalamu alaikum, peace be with all of you. Let me begin with a couple of apologies, if I may. The first is for leaving so swiftly after arriving. I have to meet with some members of Parliament, and then I have to write my weekly newspaper column, and then I have to sleep, although I'm actually half asleep already, because I've already done my 3-hour live radio show this morning, on top of the huge rally that we had last night, and the 17 media interviews that I've done in the last 48 hours in New Zealand. It's been action-packed, so I hope you'll forgive me. And the second is associated with that. I kind of gave you my best shot last night. I hope that that will largely suffice to motivate you in the rest of the proceedings today, because, as I say, I'm running out of steam. I hope you'll forgive me for that. The first thing I want to do is touch on the first of the issues, which is what is Islamophobia? How do you recognize it? I think the first thing that you have to bear in mind is this: that although there are some rich Muslims, and although there are some some white Muslims, the overwhelming majority of Muslims are neither white nor rich. And that's why we say that Islamophobia is really racism against Muslims. Indeed, the gutter snipes, the Elmer Gantries, the frauds that are spreading this Islamophobia this weekend in New Zealand, some of whom I understand are in the room to hear me say this, so let me underscore it: the frauds, the Elmer Gantries, the snake oil salesmen who have come here to spread this hatred against Islam are racists. And I look forward to the writ for libel if they'd like to serve it. They are racists who are seeking to whip up hatred amongst white people against non-white people. That's the game that they're in. It's nothing to do with religion. There's nothing Christian about spreading hatred against other people because of what they are. Indeed, it is to blaspheme against the very life and teachings of Jesus Christ. It's to blaspheme against the very idea of God, who made all human beings, of all colours, in all parts of this earth, to be engaged in the hate campaign that these people are engaged in. So when you see it, when you hear it, when you read it, recognize it for what it is. It is a vile poison that these people have embarked upon injecting into the body politic of this harmonious land of New Zealand, whose reputation around the world for having built a multiracial, multi-ethnic society in which hate is not the prevalent emotion stalking the land, that these people are wicked, wicked in a very religious sense. I'd go so far as to say, as a religious person myself, they're far from being Christians. These people are positively satanic, and the devil is working through them in this hate campaign on which they are embarked. It will take many forms, of course. They will not say, we're from the Ku Klux Klan and we've come here to whip up white people's feelings against non-white people, even though the organization they most closely resemble is the Ku Klux Klan. They're not here with hoods over their heads today, but that's just because they're not embarrassed, because they're unembarrassable. They will say that they're against Islam because it's growing, because it's winning converts to its theology, as if all religions were not engaged in trying to win converts, as if all religions were not engaged on trying to win people to their banner. They'll say that it's because Islam, in their twisted view, has a view of women as second-class citizens, as if the dominant Western mode has reached the acme of perfection in relations between men and women, as if women were treated well over the centuries in predominantly white and Christian models, as if women were not second-class citizens in every society, as if the sexualization of women, the reduction of women to sexual objects and servants of men was not the dominant mode in our society, which every thinking person, of course, knows that it is. They will say that they don't like what they perceive to be the attitude of Islam and Muslims towards gays, as if these snake oil salesmen loved gays, as if they were in the front ranks of championing the equal rights of gay people, when in fact they're the most bigoted and prejudiced people in the land, in every land, these Christian fundamentalists. They will say that they're not against Islam because of the people who profess it, but because of some twisted reading of the Quran, which none of them can read. None of them can read Arabic. None of them know anything about the Quran that they describe. If they did, they wouldn't be pumping out the lies about it that they habitually do. The truth is this: Islam is a peaceful religion. Islam proclaims that there can be no compulsion in religion, that no one can be forced to believe in God, because if they were forced, they wouldn't believe in God, which would be a contradiction in the basic tenets of Islam. So look for these signs and combat them with the truth.